A billionaire forced to marry a woman he doesn't love, that was Julian Harper's cold reality. Yet tonight, everything changed in an instant. The grand ballroom sparkled under the chandelier's glow, filled with laughter and luxury. Julian stood by the window, eyes heavy with pain. Victoria, his flawless fiancée, smiled beside him, unaware of his shattered heart. Then, from the shadows, Maya Lewis appeared. 5 children clung to her side, each bearing Julian's striking features, a secret kept for years. Whispers rippled through the crowd as eyes darted between the elegant party and this unexpected family. Julian's gaze locked on Maya's, memories and regrets crashing down like a tidal wave. The perfect facade of wealth and power was breaking apart right before their eyes. What will happen next? Will Julian choose love over duty? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for the full story unfolding soon. This is just the beginning. Julian sat alone in his spacious office, the city lights flickering outside the window. The silence pressed down on him, heavier than any crowd he had faced. His phone buzzed. It was a message from his mother, Evelyn. She reminded him sharply of the upcoming marriage to Victoria, a union meant to secure the family's name and fortune. The weight of expectation settled firmly on Julian's shoulders. This was not about love, it was about duty. He ran a hand through his hair, his mind racing. The woman he was about to marry was a symbol of power, but his heart was somewhere else, haunted by memories he couldn't escape. Julian's chest tightened as the conflict tore him apart. Should he follow the path laid out for him, or fight for the love he had lost? The choice felt impossible. In this moment of solitude, Julian's pain was raw and real. The man the world admired was trapped by the invisible chains of family legacy. Tomorrow, everything would change. But tonight, he was still caught in the struggle between heart and obligation. Morning light spilled softly through the small kitchen window. Maya moved quietly, preparing breakfast for the 5 children gathered around the table. Her hands moved with practiced care, serving warm plates and pouring juice. Each child received her attention, a gentle word here, a reassuring smile there. The love she poured into these simple acts was clear. Despite their modest surroundings, the room felt full of warmth and strength. The eldest child, Amara, helped Maya by organizing school books and packing lunches. Her small hands were steady, mirroring her mother's resilience. She moved with a quiet confidence that came from shouldering more than most her age. Maya watched her children with pride, knowing each day was a battle against the world outside. But here, in this moment, they were safe. This morning routine was more than just preparation. It was a daily act of love and protection, a promise that no matter the hardships, they faced the day together. And in these small moments, Maya's strength shone brightest. Julian's mind drifted back to a quiet afternoon beneath the old oak tree, where he and Maya had once sat side by side. The sun filtered through the leaves, casting dancing shadows on their faces. They had spoken of dreams then, plans to build a life together, a future full of hope and love. Julian remembered the way Maya's eyes sparkled when she talked about her dreams. Her laughter was a melody that filled the air. He had promised her the world, though he knew it wasn't always within his reach. Their love had been deep and true, a fierce flame that burned against all odds. But beneath that warmth was a quiet sadness. The knowledge that their paths might soon part lingered, an unspoken shadow between them. That day was a beautiful moment frozen in time, a promise they both wished could last forever. Now, standing amid the luxury and distance of his current life, Julian felt the sharp sting of loss. The love that once felt so certain had become a memory, bittersweet and haunting. The past and present collided, leaving him torn between what was and what must be. At the upscale school, the youngest child, Leia, stood alone by the playground, her small frame trembling. Nearby, other children whispered cruel words, mocking her skin and accent. "Why do you even belong here?" one sneered. "You're different. You don't fit." Leia's eyes filled with tears, her heart aching from the sting of rejection. The laughter around her felt sharp, like cold wind cutting through a fragile flame. When the final bell rang, Maya was waiting by the gate. She wrapped her arms around Leia, holding her tight. "I'm so sorry," Maya whispered, brushing tears from her daughter's cheek. "But remember this, my love. Our strength isn't in how others see us. It's in how we believe in ourselves." Maya's voice was steady and fierce. She taught Leia that day about courage and pride, lessons no one could take away. As they walked home hand in hand, Leia's sobs quieted, replaced by a flicker of hope. But the battle against prejudice was far from over. Would Laya find the strength to face tomorrow? The answer still hung in the air, waiting to unfold. From across the room, Evelyn watched Maya and the children closely. Her eyes narrowed, a mix of suspicion and disdain flickering in her gaze. To her, this family was an unwelcome shadow on the carefully crafted Harper legacy. She turned to Victoria, her voice low but sharp. "That woman," Evelyn said, nodding toward Maya, "is a threat. She's more than just a distraction. She could unravel everything we've built." Victoria's expression hardened. She understood the stakes. This was more than a personal rivalry. It was a battle for control and reputation. Evelyn's words carried weight, a silent warning wrapped in cold calculation. She would not let Julian's future slip away because of a past she deemed unworthy. The room buzzed with elegance and power, but beneath it, a storm was gathering. Evelyn's resolve was clear. Maya and those children were obstacles to be removed. This quiet tension set the stage for the coming clashes. How far would Evelyn go to protect her family's name? The answer would soon test every bond and belief. Julian stared at his phone, his fingers hesitating over the screen. He dialed Maya's number again, hoping this time she would answer, but once more it went straight to voicemail. His heart sank with each unanswered call. The distance between them felt impossible to bridge. He swallowed hard, the weight of regret pressing down. In the quiet of his room, Julian pulled out an old photo album. He flipped through faded pictures of happier times, smiles shared under sunny skies, hands intertwined, dreams whispered in secret. Each image was a reminder of what he had lost, and what still lingered deep inside his soul. The memories were bittersweet, pulling him between hope and sorrow. He closed the album slowly, his eyes misty. The man who seemed so powerful on the outside was unraveling within. Tonight, the silence was louder than ever. Would Maya ever pick up? Would the past ever become the future again? The questions haunted him, unanswered and relentless. Maya sat quietly with Amara, her eldest, in the soft light of their modest living room. She gently took her daughter's hands in hers, meeting her eyes with steady warmth. "Amara," Maya began softly, "you are strong because you know who you are. No matter what others say or think, your worth is never defined by their words." Amara listened closely, her eyes wide with trust and admiration. She wanted to believe every word, to carry that strength into the world outside. Maya continued, "People will try to judge us, to put us in boxes, but real power comes from within, knowing your truth and standing tall." The room was filled with a quiet resolve, a mother passing on a legacy of courage. Amara's gaze never wavered. In that moment, she saw not just her mother, but a warrior who had faced storms and refused to bow. The bond between them was unbreakable, a source of hope against the challenges ahead. This was more than a conversation. It was a lesson in pride, resilience, and love. Together, they prepared to face whatever the world would throw their way. Julian sat across from his mother Evelyn in the cold marble dining room. Her eyes bore into him with unyielding force. "You must forget Maya," Evelyn said sharply. "This marriage to Victoria isn't just about you. It's about the Harper legacy. Our family's future depends on it." Julian's jaw clenched. "But it's not what I want." Evelyn's voice dropped to a warning. "Your wants don't matter. Time is running out. You have a duty to fulfill, and I won't let you throw it all away for a past that can't be changed." The tension thickened, filling the room like a storm ready to break. Julian felt trapped between love and obligation, between a mother's demands and his own heart. The clock on the wall ticked louder, reminding him the wedding was approaching fast. No second chances. This was more than a conversation. It was a battle for control, and Julian's silence spoke volumes. Would he surrender or fight? The answer would come soon, and the consequences would ripple through every part of his life. Maya sat at the small wooden table, pen in hand, staring at the blank page before her. She had written the letter many times but never sent it. Would Julian still remember her? Would he remember their children? The words felt heavy, filled with hope and fear. Each sentence carried the weight of years spent apart. She folded the letter carefully and placed it back in the drawer, uncertain if it would ever reach him. In the corner, little Malik played quietly with a worn wooden toy, its edges smoothed by countless hands. The simplicity of the toy contrasted sharply with the complexity of their lives. That toy was a symbol, a piece of love amidst hardship, a reminder that despite what they lacked, their family was held together by something far stronger than wealth or status. Maya watched her son's focused eyes and felt a surge of fierce protectiveness. The struggle was far from over, but in these quiet moments, hope still flickered. Would Julian ever receive the words she longed to share? The question hung in the air, waiting for an answer only time could bring. Julian's phone rang late at night. The voice on the other end was cold, professional. Evelyn had hired a lawyer. The plan was clear. She intended to challenge Maya's custody of the children. Her aim, to split the family apart and erase Maya from their lives. Julian's heart clenched, pain slicing through him like a knife. This was more than a legal battle. It was a war for his family's survival. He paced the room, images of his children flashing in his mind. The thought of losing them, of their lives being torn apart, was unbearable. Evelyn's move was calculated and ruthless. She was willing to do anything to protect the family name, even if it meant breaking her own son's heart. Julian knew the fight ahead would be brutal, but he refused to let the people he loved become casualties of ambition and control. The battle lines had been drawn, and Julian was ready to stand for what mattered most: his family. The morning sun filtered softly through the curtains as Maya gathered her children in the living room. The air was thick with nerves. Today was the court hearing, the day their future hung in the balance. Her children sat close, faces marked with confusion and fear. Little Malik asked quietly, "Mom, why don't we live with Dad? Why do they say we don't belong?" Maya's heart ached. She took each child's hand, her voice steady but full of warmth. "We are strong because we are together," she said. "No matter what others say or think, our family is built on love." The children listened, their eyes searching for hope amid the uncertainty. Maya reassured them that courage would carry them through the hardest days. She spoke of pride, resilience, and the power of standing tall against the world's unfairness. Though the shadows of prejudice loomed large, Maya's love was a beacon, guiding them forward. The road ahead would be tough, but their bond was unbreakable. Together they would face whatever came next, united and brave. In the sleek conference room, Julian sat alone at the head of the table. The usual hum of colleagues had vanished. His decision to stand by Maya and their children had isolated him in the world of business. Whispers followed him in the hallways. Invitations stopped coming. Allies became strangers. The high-stakes world he thrived in suddenly felt cold and unwelcoming. Julian stared out the window, the city skyline a blur through tired eyes. The silence around him echoed his loneliness. He thought of the family he fought to protect, the sacrifices made and the battles ahead. Despite the isolation, his resolve didn't waver. This empty room was a stark contrast to the love waiting for him at home, a reminder that power wasn't worth much without the people who mattered. In this moment, Julian's strength was tested, but his heart held firm. He wasn't just fighting for a company or a legacy. He was fighting for his family. At the elegant social event, Maya felt the cold weight of judgment as she moved through the crowd. Whispers followed her, sharp glances full of unspoken prejudice. A woman in a polished dress stopped her, eyes narrowed. "Are you sure you belong here?" she asked with a thin smile that barely hid disdain. Maya's heart tightened, but she held her head high. Her children watched nearby, their faces a mix of confusion and hurt. The youngest clung to her hand, eyes wide with questions they didn't understand. Maya's voice was calm but firm. "We belong wherever love and family stand." Inside, a storm brewed, a clash between the world they'd been thrust into and the life Maya fought to protect. The children's innocent gazes pierced Maya's resolve, reminding her why she could never back down. This was more than an insult. It was a test of their strength and unity, and Maya knew, no matter how cold the world, they would face it together. Julian stepped quietly into the small living room, greeted by the curious eyes of the children. Their smiles were cautious but hopeful. He knelt down, meeting their gazes one by one. "I'm here for you," he said softly, voice steady with promise. "No matter what happens, I will protect this family." The children's faces brightened, sensing the strength behind his words. Julian's own heart swelled with a fierce love he hadn't felt in years. He spoke of hope, of fighting against the odds, and standing united no matter the challenges. His eyes shone with determination. This was more than a vow. It was a battle cry. Maya watched from the doorway, her heart touched and guarded at the same time. In that room, filled with simple furniture and laughter, Julian found a purpose greater than business or legacy. Here was his true fight: to keep this family whole, to love fiercely, and to never let them go. The journey ahead was uncertain, but his commitment was clear and unbreakable. Evelyn faced Maya with cold eyes, her voice sharp and accusing. "You've ruined Julian's future," she said, each word heavy with blame. "If you hadn't come back, none of this would be happening." Maya stood tall, her gaze steady and unwavering. "I didn't ruin anything," she replied firmly. "Love is not a mistake. It's what saved him." The room crackled with tension. Evelyn's anger met Maya's quiet strength head-on. "You don't understand the sacrifices that come with our world," Evelyn sneered. "But I understand love," Maya shot back. "It's what keeps us fighting, what holds this family together." Her voice carried a power Evelyn hadn't expected, a shield forged from years of pain and hope. This wasn't just a clash of words, it was a battle for Julian's heart and their children's future. Neither woman would back down. In that moment, love became the fiercest weapon. The war for family had only just begun. The children gathered close, their voices small but filled with raw honesty. They spoke of the harsh words, the cold stares, and the bullying they faced at school. Maya listened intently, her heart aching with every story. She reached out, pulling them into a warm embrace. "We are stronger than they think," she said softly but firmly. "Our love, our bond, that's our power." Her eyes met each child's, reflecting fierce determination and unshakable belief. In that moment, Maya became their shield and their strength. The room was charged with emotion, a mother and her children standing united against the world's cruelty. Their faces showed pain, but also resilience. Have you ever faced a moment where love gave you strength to overcome? Share your story below, and let's stand together in the fight for what matters most. Because sometimes, the greatest battles are fought not alone, but hand in hand. The grand living room echoed with the clash of voices. Julian and Evelyn locked in a fierce argument. "You will obey me," Evelyn demanded, eyes blazing with authority. "Or you will lose everything, your inheritance, your place in this family." Julian's fists clenched at his sides. "I won't sacrifice my family for power," he replied, voice cold but resolute. Evelyn's threat hung heavy in the air, a stark reminder of the price of defiance. "This isn't a game, Julian," she warned. "You're standing on the edge. One wrong move and you're out." But Julian's gaze didn't waver. "If losing your favor means standing up for the people I love, then so be it." The room was charged with tension, a battle of wills between a mother's control and a son's courage. Neither willing to yield, both fighting for very different futures. How far would you go to protect those you love? The stakes had never been higher. Maya sat quietly in the dimly lit room, her thoughts heavy with worry. She watched her children sleeping peacefully, but wondered if they could truly survive in a world so full of prejudice and hate. Could they find acceptance? Could they live without fear? The questions haunted her. Across town, Julian was battling his own doubts but remained steadfast. When Maya reached out, he promised, "I won't give up on us. On them." His voice was calm but filled with unwavering determination. They were two souls fighting against impossible odds, united by love and a shared dream for their family's future. Maya's fears and Julian's strength created a fragile balance, hope hanging on the edge of uncertainty. In the face of judgment, their love was both shield and sword. Could their bond withstand the storm ahead? Only time would tell, but neither was willing to walk away. In the modest kitchen, Maya and her children gathered around the worn wooden table, preparing dinner together. The aroma of simple, home-cooked food filled the air, wrapping the room in warmth. Laughter mixed with quiet conversation, a comforting soundtrack to their evening ritual. Hands passed bowls, chopped vegetables, and set plates with gentle care. Despite the closeness, a quiet tension lingered beneath the smiles, a shared worry about the uncertain future that awaited them. Maya glanced at her children's faces, illuminated by soft light, each one a reminder of why she fought so hard. This ordinary moment held the weight of extraordinary love, a family holding tightly to each other amid the storm. Their bond was visible in every shared glance, every tender touch, every unspoken promise. Tonight, the kitchen was more than just a place to eat. It was a sanctuary. And in that sanctuary, love was the strongest ingredient of all. Julian entered the sleek boardroom where the city's elite gathered. Despite his status, the room felt cold and unwelcoming. His colleagues, draped in designer suits and polished smiles, exchanged sideways glances filled with silent judgment. Their success was built on tradition, and Julian's choices threatened that. As the meeting began, Julian found himself isolated, his ideas dismissed or ignored. The unspoken barrier of prejudice was thick in the air. Frustration crept in, mingling with a deep internal struggle. How could he protect his family while navigating a world that rejected them? The irony wasn't lost on him, a man surrounded by wealth and power, yet utterly alone in his fight for acceptance. Julian's resolve hardened. He would not let this isolation break him. Behind the polished surface, a quiet rebellion was growing. He was ready to challenge the walls that kept him apart. In the quiet of their living room, Maya gathered her children around, a worn book open on her lap. She spoke softly but with conviction about the history of their community, the struggles, the triumphs, the unyielding spirit that had carried generations forward. Her voice painted vivid pictures of courage and endurance, stories of heroes who refused to be broken. The children listened intently, eyes wide with awe and inspiration. Maya's words were more than lessons. They were a torch passed down, a call to stand strong no matter the obstacles. In that moment, the room was filled with a powerful energy, a connection to something greater than themselves. The faces of the children reflected new understanding, pride kindling deep within their hearts. This was more than history. It was a legacy of strength and hope they would carry forward, and Maya's love was the light guiding them every step of the way. Evelyn stood at the edge of the garden, watching her grandchildren play under the afternoon sun. Their laughter filled the air, innocent and free, a stark contrast to the cold walls she had built around her heart. Her eyes softened as she observed their joy, the way they chased one another with carefree smiles. Yet, beneath that softness lay a fierce internal struggle, a clash between her pride and a growing realization. Memories of the past and the sacrifices made haunted her thoughts. Could these children, so full of life and love, be the bridge she never expected? For the first time, doubt crept in. The woman who had once vowed to protect the family legacy at all costs now wrestled with a different truth. Evelyn's heart began to question what truly mattered. A subtle shift had begun, quietly changing everything she thought she knew. In the quiet corner of the park, Maya and Julian stood facing each other, the late afternoon light casting soft shadows across their faces. Their eyes held a world of unspoken emotions, love, regret, and a fragile hope that still flickered between them. Words were scarce, but every glance spoke volumes. Julian's hand trembled slightly as he reached out, not quite touching her. Maya's breath caught, a mix of longing and pain filling the space between them. They spoke softly about their children, their struggles, and the future they yearned for but feared was out of reach. Despite years of distance and hurt, their connection remained undeniable. The park around them faded as their hearts beat in quiet unison, a moment suspended between what was lost and what could still be saved. Both knew the path ahead would be difficult, but the spark between them refused to die. In their eyes, love and sorrow danced together, an eternal promise of fighting for each other no matter the cost. The school day was tough for the children, filled with moments of struggle and whispers that stung like cold wind. But amid the challenges, small acts of kindness shone through. A classmate offered a helping hand with a difficult assignment. Another shared a smile during lunch, breaking the walls of isolation. These simple gestures planted seeds of hope, reminding the children they weren't alone. Their eyes brightened as they found pockets of friendship in unexpected places. Though the world outside often judged them harshly, these moments showed that compassion could cross divides. The children carried these sparks with them, fueling their courage to face another day. In these small victories, a quiet strength was growing, one built on connection and resilience. The journey was far from easy, but hope was never out of reach. And sometimes all it took was one kind act to light the way forward. Julian stood firm as his mother's sharp words cut through the tense room. "You're throwing away everything for a woman who's tearing this family apart," Evelyn accused, her voice cold and relentless. He met her gaze without flinching. "Maya and the children are my family. I won't abandon them, no matter what you say." The air was thick with conflict, each word fueling the storm between them. Evelyn's frustration clashed with Julian's unwavering resolve. "You're risking it all, your future, your legacy," she warned. "But some things are worth more than legacy," Julian replied, voice steady and strong. "Love, loyalty, truth." In that heated exchange, Julian's determination shone brighter than ever. He was ready to face whatever came next, standing beside the family he chose to protect. The battle lines were drawn, but his heart was clear. No force could make him turn away from those he loved. Maya stood before the mirror, her hands trembling slightly as she adjusted her jacket. Today was the day. The court hearing that could change everything. Her heart raced with a mix of fear and fierce determination. The weight of uncertainty pressed down, but she refused to let it break her spirit. Her children gathered around, their small faces filled with encouragement and love. Amara reached out, squeezing her mother's hand. "You're strong, Mom. We believe in you." Their support was a powerful shield, fueling Maya's courage. In that moment, the room was charged with quiet resolve, a family united against the odds. Maya took a deep breath, steadying herself for the battle ahead. She wasn't just fighting for custody. She was fighting for their future, their dignity, their love. With her children by her side, Maya's resolve burned brighter than ever. No matter what happened, they would face it together, unbreakable and strong. Julian leaned forward in the glass-walled conference room, his voice low but firm. He spoke directly to a former ally, someone who once stood by him. "Things have to change," Julian insisted, eyes burning with new resolve. "This isn't just about business anymore, it's about doing what's right, for my family and for me." His colleague hesitated, caught between loyalty and the pressure building inside the company. Julian's words stirred something, challenging old loyalties and fears. The tension in the room thickened. Time was running out. Julian's determination was palpable, a countdown toward a new chapter. He wasn't asking for favors, he was demanding fairness, standing firm against a tide of resistance. The silent battle lines within the company were shifting, cracks forming in the old order. Julian's gaze never wavered, signaling a man ready to fight for change. This internal struggle was only the beginning, but it carried the power to reshape everything. Maya overheard hushed voices at a nearby table in the upscale cafe. The words were sharp, laced with disdain and judgment. "She doesn't belong here," one sneered. "Not with that background." The sneers cut deeper than any blade, but Maya straightened her back, refusing to let their prejudice break her spirit. Her eyes flashed with quiet determination, a reminder to herself and her children that they were more than whispers and stares. She repeated silently, "I am strong. I am enough." Around her, the world might see difference, but within her burned an unshakable fire. The moment was a test, a call to stand firm against scorn and exclusion. Maya's resolve grew, sharper and brighter with every insult. In that moment, strength wasn't loud. It was steadfast, and she would carry it forward, no matter what. From a distance, Evelyn watched the Maya family through the fogged window of her car. The children played in the yard, their laughter carrying on the breeze, light, free, unburdened by the world's harsh judgments. Her eyes softened momentarily, torn between the cold walls of prejudice and a deep, hidden longing for connection. Memories of Julian and the family she had tried to control flickered through her mind, stirring an unfamiliar ache. She clenched her jaw, battling the conflict within, between loyalty to tradition and the undeniable truth unfolding before her eyes. Evelyn's gaze lingered on the scene, shadows of doubt and hope intertwining. For the first time, the rigid certainty she had held began to crack. Her final look was heavy, thoughtful, a silent admission that change was quietly stirring beneath the surface. This was not the end, but the turning point of a long, complicated journey. Evelyn hesitated at the doorstep of Maya's modest home, the invitation still fresh in her mind. Inside, the warm glow of family life enveloped her, a world far removed from the cold formality she was used to. She watched as the children laughed and played, their eyes bright with innocence and intelligence. Amara proudly shared a story about the stars, her voice confident and clear, while Malik's mischievous grin lit up the room. The bond between Maya and her children was undeniable, a tapestry woven with love, resilience, and unwavering support. Evelyn's usual skepticism softened as she saw the genuine warmth and strength holding this family together. The walls she had built around her heart began to crumble, replaced by a surprising admiration. This visit was more than a gesture. It was a moment of awakening. Evelyn realized that family was not defined by status or wealth, but by the love that bound them. A new chapter was quietly beginning, born from unexpected understanding. Evelyn sat alone in her dimly lit study, the silence heavy around her. Her mind drifted back through the years, the harsh decisions she had made, the walls she had built to protect her family's legacy. Regret clouded her eyes as memories of pain and loss resurfaced, each choice now tinged with a new understanding of the damage caused. She clasped her hands tightly, wrestling with the weight of guilt and the hope for redemption. The cold, commanding woman once ruled by pride was now vulnerable, facing the consequences of her past. Yet, beneath the regret, a spark of resolve began to grow, an urge to make things right, to heal the wounds her actions had left behind. Evelyn's gaze softened, a silent promise to herself and her family that change was possible. In this quiet moment, the truth became clear. Love and forgiveness held more power than control and fear ever could. Her journey was far from over, but the first step toward healing had begun. Maya and Evelyn sat across from each other in the quiet living room, tension thick in the air. Evelyn's voice trembled as she confessed, "I'm scared. Scared of losing Julian. Scared of what the future holds for him, and for all of you." Maya met her gaze, steady but guarded. "We all want what's best for Julian, but love isn't about control." Their words clashed and intertwined, a dance of frustration, fear, and a tentative search for understanding. Evelyn's walls cracked, revealing a mother's vulnerability beneath her stern exterior. "I've spent so long trying to protect my family," she admitted, "but maybe I was protecting my fears instead." Maya's heart softened, recognizing the pain behind the pride. This conversation was raw and difficult, but it opened a door, an honest step toward healing. In the fragile space between conflict and connection, both women glimpsed hope for a new beginning. Their shared love for Julian became the thread slowly weaving their worlds closer. Evelyn's stern expression softened as the grandchildren filled the room with life. Malik, with a mischievous grin, handed her a carefully folded paper airplane. "Here, Grandma, fly it." Her fingers trembled as she took the delicate gift, a surprising warmth flooding her chest. Then Naya began to sing, a soft, sweet melody she composed herself. The notes floated gently, filling the room with hope and innocence. Evelyn watched, captivated, as the children's laughter and talents melted away years of doubt and judgment. In their simple gestures, she saw the purest form of love and connection, untouched by prejudice or expectation. Her heart began to open, breaking through the walls she had long built around herself. The children's joy was a powerful reminder. Family isn't just blood or status. It's the bonds of love that truly define us. This moment of unexpected tenderness sparked a shift inside Evelyn, signaling the start of a deeper change. She realized that these little miracles held the key to healing old wounds and embracing a new future. Evelyn stood before the mirror in her dimly lit bedroom, her reflection staring back at her, stern, conflicted, and worn by years of inner battle. Her eyes searched for the woman she once was, torn between the rigid expectations she upheld and the tender moments she had witnessed with Maya's family. Questions she had long buried resurfaced, twisting deep inside her. What truly defined family? What did she value more, control or love? Her fingers trembled as she touched the glass, feeling the weight of her decisions. This was no longer just about legacy or power, it was about rediscovering what mattered most. A flicker of vulnerability surfaced, mingling with newfound clarity. Evelyn's heart wavered, but leaned toward change. The promise of healing whispered softly within her. The journey ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in years, she dared to hope. In that quiet moment of self-reflection, the walls around her began to crumble. A new chapter was quietly taking shape, one where love might finally triumph over fear. At a small, intimate gathering, Julian and Maya stood side by side, publicly acknowledging their relationship for the first time in years. The room buzzed softly with whispers and curious glances, but a few close friends and family offered warm smiles and gentle nods of support. Julian's eyes shone with newfound confidence, his hand resting protectively over Maya's. Maya returned the gaze, her expression filled with quiet hope and determination. This moment marked more than just an announcement. It was a declaration of resilience and love that refused to be hidden. Despite the lingering shadows of doubt, the couple embraced the fragile but growing support around them. Their courage sparked a shift, signaling that the tides of acceptance might be turning. With each approving look, their bond strengthened, fueling the fire of possibility. Together, they stepped into the light, ready to face whatever challenges awaited. The countdown to a new chapter had begun, filled with hope, strength, and unwavering love. Evelyn stood before Maya and the grandchildren, her voice steady and firm. "I will support you, all of you," she declared, her eyes reflecting a newfound determination. But beneath her resolve was a cautious warning. The road ahead won't be easy, There will be challenges, judgment, and struggles. Her words carried the weight of experience, a recognition of the battles still to come. Yet, for the first time, Evelyn offered her strength, not opposition. The shift in her stance was profound, a mother choosing love over control, acceptance over fear. Maya's eyes met hers, gratitude and hope mingling in the silence between them. This moment was a turning point, a bridge built from understanding and the promise of healing. Though the future remained uncertain, Evelyn's support marked a powerful step forward. Together, they faced the unknown with courage, ready to rewrite their story. The room glowed with warmth as the newly united family gathered around a small, intimate dinner table. Children's laughter echoed, filling every corner with pure joy and innocence. Julian took Maya's hand gently, reaching into his pocket to reveal a simple, elegant ring. With eyes full of love and promise, he slipped it onto her finger. "I vow to love you, to protect you, and to stand by you, always," he whispered, his voice steady and heartfelt. Maya smiled through tears, the weight of their journey melting away in that single moment. The family's bonds, once tested by hardship, now shone brighter than ever. This celebration was more than a ceremony. It was a testament to resilience, hope, and unbreakable love. The children's joyous voices harmonized with the quiet vow Julian and Maya shared. In that simple gathering, they found strength, a reminder that love could conquer even the deepest scars. Evelyn stepped forward, her arms opening wide in a gesture of acceptance and love. She pulled Maya and the grandchildren into a warm, heartfelt embrace, a moment years in the making. Laughter bubbled up from all around, breaking down the walls that once divided them. The tension melted away, replaced by genuine joy and connection. For the first time, Evelyn's heart was fully open, embracing this family as her own without hesitation or doubt. The children's bright smiles reflected a new beginning, one free from prejudice and fear. In that embrace, past hurts found solace and hope blossomed. The room was filled with lightness, a celebration not just of reunion, but of healing. Together, they created a space where love reigned supreme. This was the moment where family, in its truest sense, was reborn. Outside, the grandchildren played freely in the garden, their laughter ringing through the warm air. Their joyful voices mingled with the gentle rustling of leaves, a melody of hope and life. The sun began to set, casting golden hues over the yard, bathing everything in a soft, glowing light. Shadows stretched long as the sky turned to shades of amber and rose. The children chased each other, their smiles bright and carefree, a living symbol of a future unburdened by past struggles. Their innocent games spoke of resilience, of dreams waiting to be fulfilled. The warmth of the setting sun mirrored the love that now surrounded them, promising better days ahead. In this tranquil moment, the garden became a sanctuary, a place where healing blossomed alongside childhood joy. The golden light whispered of new beginnings and endless possibilities. Here, beneath the fading sun, the family's story continued, stronger, united, and filled with hope. Julian and Maya sat close, hands intertwined, a quiet strength passing between them. They spoke softly of the battles they had faced, the pain, the fear, and the sacrifices made along the way. Each challenge, though daunting, had only deepened their bond and resolve. Their eyes met, reflecting gratitude for the journey and the courage it had forged within them. Maya whispered, "We've come so far, together." Julian nodded, his voice steady, "And there's still so much more ahead, better days waiting for us." The weight of past struggles lifted slightly, replaced by a growing trust in their shared future. Their clasped hands were more than comfort. They were a promise, a testament to enduring love. In this moment, hope was tangible, woven through every breath and glance. Together, they embraced the road forward, ready to face whatever came with unshakable faith. Evelyn stood quietly at a distance, her eyes fixed on the family she once resisted so fiercely. Tears traced slow paths down her cheeks, a mix of regret and hope shimmering in their wake. The soft evening light wrapped around her like a gentle embrace, offering comfort and clarity. In that moment, she felt the weight of lost time and the fragile promise of new beginnings. Her heart ached for past mistakes, but also beat with cautious optimism for the future. Evelyn's gaze softened as she witnessed the laughter, love, and resilience blooming before her. This silent scene spoke volumes, a testament to the power of change and the hope that endures. A family once divided now stands together, proving that healing is possible against all odds. The journey continues, but for now, light shines through the cracks of yesterday's pain. A soft melody rose as one of the youngest children began to sing, a simple, heartfelt song about love and reunion. Her clear voice carried through the room, gentle yet powerful, drawing every eye and ear. The lyrics spoke of broken hearts mended, of hope rekindled and families reunited against all odds. Faces softened, eyes glistened with tears as the children's innocence touched deep into the souls of all present. The room grew still, wrapped in the purity of the moment, each note weaving a tapestry of healing and faith. Julian and Maya exchanged a glance, their hearts swelling with pride and gratitude. Evelyn's hardened gaze melted, revealing a tender smile she hadn't shown in years. This song was more than a melody. It was a bridge connecting past pain to a hopeful future. In that shared silence, love spoke louder than words, binding them all together. The children's voices echoed the promise that even the deepest wounds could be healed by the light of love. Julian turned to his mother, his voice filled with genuine gratitude. "Thank you for opening your heart," he said softly. "I promise to work hard to build the happy family we all deserve." Evelyn smiled gently, her eyes warm and softened by years of reflection. For the first time there was no tension, only a quiet understanding and hope. Her expression held a tender acceptance, a silent acknowledgement of the healing between them. Julian felt the weight of her support, a strength that gave him renewed determination. The past struggles seemed to fade, replaced by a shared commitment to love and unity. Their connection was fragile but real, a foundation for the future they would create together. In that moment, forgiveness and hope blended seamlessly, offering a path forward. Together, they stood ready to embrace the family they had fought so hard to reclaim. Maya gathered her children close, her voice gentle but strong as she shared their family's journey. She spoke of struggles faced and battles fought, of love that defied boundaries and overcame every obstacle. Her words painted a picture of resilience, hope, and unwavering faith in one another. The children listened intently, their eyes wide and sparkling with wonder and pride. Each story was a thread weaving them closer, a reminder of the strength passed down through generations. Maya's voice carried warmth, echoing the love that had carried them through darkest times. She spoke not just of hardship, but of the power of family and the unbreakable bonds they shared. The room was filled with a quiet reverence, a moment suspended in trust and inspiration. In their shining eyes, Maya saw the future, bright, hopeful, and full of promise. Together, they embraced the story that made them who they were and the love that would guide them forward. Julian hosted an intimate gathering of close friends and family, eager to share his new beginning. The room buzzed with warmth and genuine smiles as everyone welcomed Maya and the children. Glasses clinked in celebration, and heartfelt toasts filled the air with love and support. Laughter mingled with soft music, creating a comforting atmosphere of belonging. Julian's eyes shone with pride as he introduced each family member, openly embracing their story. Guests offered congratulations and encouragement, acknowledging the journey that brought them here. The moment marked more than just a celebration. It was a declaration of unity and hope. In that circle of trust, the family felt strengthened, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The glow of acceptance wrapped around them, igniting a renewed sense of purpose and joy. Together, they stepped forward into a future built on love, resilience, and unshakable bonds. Evelyn stood confidently before a group of business partners, her demeanor changed and more open than ever. She introduced Maya and the grandchildren not just as guests, but as valued members of the family. Whispers of surprise rippled through the room as the partners exchanged glances, some skeptical, others respectful. Evelyn's proud gaze lingered on Maya, signaling a powerful shift in her heart and mind. For years, she had resisted, but now she embraced this family as part of the legacy she wished to protect. The partners listened attentively, sensing the sincerity behind Evelyn's words and the strength of the bonds presented. Her introduction challenged old prejudices, quietly demanding acknowledgement and respect. The scene was a turning point, where business, family, and acceptance intertwined unexpectedly. In that moment, walls crumbled and new alliances formed, fueled by honesty and renewed trust. Evelyn's gesture sent a clear message. Love and family could transcend even the toughest barriers. Julian and Maya sat side by side, their faces lit by the glow of determination and hope. They passionately discussed plans to create a charity fund dedicated to helping disadvantaged children. Ideas flowed freely, fueled by their shared vision of making a lasting impact on young lives. Julian outlined potential partnerships, while Maya emphasized the importance of community involvement. Their hands occasionally touched, a silent reminder of their united purpose beyond the project. The room echoed with enthusiasm as they mapped out goals, events, and outreach programs. Every detail spoke of their commitment, not just to each other but to a future brighter than their past. Their collaboration symbolized healing and growth, turning pain into a powerful force for good. Together, they envisioned a legacy that extended beyond family, touching countless hearts and minds. In that moment, their love and shared mission intertwined, inspiring hope in a world that so desperately needed it. One of the older children stood proudly, showcasing a beautiful painting filled with vibrant colors and emotion. The family gathered around, their faces lighting up with joy and admiration. Julian smiled broadly, his eyes sparkling with pride for the young artist's talent. Maya's gentle applause encouraged her child, her heart swelling with love and hope. Even Evelyn, once distant, nodded approvingly, her expression softening with newfound warmth. The artwork symbolized more than creativity. It was a testament to resilience and promise. The room filled with laughter and praise, a moment where past struggles gave way to celebration. Each family member felt the bond strengthen, united through this shared expression of hope. The child beamed, knowing their gifts were cherished and supported by those who mattered most. Together, they embraced the joy of growth, a reminder that love nurtures even the brightest talents. Evelyn sat beside Maya in the quiet living room, her voice soft but sincere. "I never thought I'd say this, but you've shown me something powerful. Love and acceptance are stronger than anything else," she confessed. Maya looked into Evelyn's eyes, seeing genuine change and a heart opening after years of resistance. Without hesitation, they reached out, their hands clasping tightly in a gesture of trust and newfound respect. The tension between them melted, replaced by a fragile but hopeful bond. Evelyn's eyes glistened with tears, the weight of old prejudices lifting just enough to make space for healing. "I see now that family isn't just about blood or status. It's about love, no matter the obstacles," Evelyn whispered. Maya nodded, her heart warming at the honesty and courage in Evelyn's words. This moment marked a turning point, where walls began to crumble and bridges were built. Together, they embraced the power of acceptance, a strength that promised a better future for their family. Julian sat close to Maya, his voice low and reflective as he began to share the challenges they had faced together. "I remember the nights when everything felt impossible," he said, his eyes dark with the weight of those memories. "But through every doubt, every hurt, you stood by me. We stood by each other." Maya reached for his hand, their fingers intertwining, a silent promise of unity. He spoke of the moments he almost gave up, when the pressure from family, society, and his own fears threatened to pull them apart. "But your strength kept me going. Your love was the light that guided me out of the darkness," Julian continued, a soft smile breaking through the shadows of his past pain. Their eyes met, sharing the unspoken understanding that their journey was far from easy, yet filled with hope. "We've come so far, Maya, and no matter what comes next, I believe in us," he said, his voice steady and full of quiet determination. Maya nodded, tears glistening, but her smile unwavering. Together, they had built a foundation stronger than any obstacle, a love tested by hardship but never broken. The room felt charged with the calm certainty of their bond, a testament to resilience and unwavering hope. In that moment, the past's pain softened, replaced by a hopeful vision of a future they would face side by side. The children played together in the garden, their laughter echoing through the warm evening air. Their joyous voices wove a tapestry of happiness, a living symbol of reunion and new beginnings. They chased each other beneath the sprawling branches of an old oak tree, the golden light of the setting sun casting gentle shadows across the lawn. Amara led a game of tag, her bright eyes sparkling with delight, while Malik's mischievous grin lit up the faces of his siblings. The twins, Zara and Zuri, giggled as they balanced carefully on the garden fence, their matching smiles mirroring the bond they shared. Nia hummed a soft tune, the melody blending with the whisper of the breeze as little Laya clung to Maya's hand, feeling safe and loved. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky with hues of pink and amber, its soft glow embracing the family like a gentle promise. This serene moment, filled with innocence and connection, stood in quiet contrast to the storms they had weathered. Here, in the heart of their home, the children's laughter was a testament to resilience and the healing power of love. As twilight settled, the garden became a sanctuary of peace, where the bonds of family grew stronger under the fading light. In the warmth of that fading sun, hope blossomed. Quiet, but undeniable, promising a future where they would face life together, united and unbreakable. Julian and Maya sat together in their cozy living room, softly illuminated by the warm glow of evening lamps. They unfolded a simple notebook filled with sketches and ideas, plans for a wedding that would honor their journey and the family they had built. The conversation was filled with quiet excitement and thoughtful pauses as they discussed the details. A small gathering under the open sky, wildflowers instead of grand bouquets, and heartfelt vows over lavish traditions. Maya smiled as she traced the outline of a delicate ring Julian had shown her earlier, a symbol of commitment more profound than any grandeur. Julian's eyes reflected the weight of the past and the promise of tomorrow, his voice steady as he spoke of building a life filled with love and resilience. They spoke not just of a ceremony, but of a future where their children would grow up embraced by a family united against all odds. The countdown to their special day felt less like pressure and more like a countdown to hope, a gentle reminder of how far they had come. Their plans were humble, deeply personal, carrying the essence of their struggles and victories. In this moment, amid dreams and whispered promises, they found strength in each other's presence and in the shared belief that love would guide their path forward. Though challenges lingered, their hearts beat with quiet confidence, ready to face whatever lay ahead, together. The intimate wedding unfolded beneath a soft sky, surrounded by the closest family and friends. Warm smiles and teary eyes reflected the joy that filled the air, every glance speaking volumes of hope and new beginnings. Children ran freely nearby, their laughter a vibrant melody weaving through the gentle breeze, a living testament to the family's strength and love. Julian and Maya stood hand in hand, their faces glowing with happiness and relief, finally able to celebrate a love that had endured so much. The ceremony was simple yet profound, vows spoken from the heart, promises not just of marriage but of unwavering support and unity. Every touch, every word carried the weight of past struggles, now transformed into the foundation of their future. The couple's eyes met often, each look a silent reaffirmation of their commitment and the family they had fought so hard to protect. Around them, the small group shared in the celebration, their presence a shield against the hardships faced and a beacon for the path ahead. As the sun dipped low, casting a warm golden hue over the gathering, the scene felt timeless, an emblem of love's victory over adversity. In this circle of warmth and laughter, hope blossomed anew, and the promise of tomorrow shone bright in every joyful smile and tender embrace. Julian and Maya stood facing each other, hands entwined, their voices steady but filled with emotion as they exchanged vows. Each word was a powerful promise, a pledge of enduring love, unwavering support, and a commitment to face life's challenges together. Their eyes locked, conveying a depth of feeling that words alone couldn't capture, revealing the journey they had endured and the strength they found in one another. Around them, the gathered loved ones watched in silent reverence, the weight of the moment settling over everyone like a warm embrace. As Julian spoke of protection and loyalty, Maya's smile blossomed with hope and certainty, their future now firmly intertwined. When Maya returned the vows, her voice held a quiet confidence, a declaration that love had conquered fear, prejudice, and separation. The room erupted into applause, cheers mingling with tears as family and friends celebrated this union, not just a marriage but a triumph of the heart. The sound of clapping filled the space, a collective recognition of resilience and the promise of a new beginning. In that moment, all doubts and hardships faded, replaced by a profound sense of peace and joy shared by everyone present. Julian and Maya's smiles shone brightest, their hearts full, as they took their first steps together as a family united by love and hope. Evelyn stood side by side with Maya in the cozy kitchen, their hands busy preparing a meal for the children. The warmth of the room was more than just from the stove. It came from the gentle smiles and shared laughter between the two women. Evelyn carefully helped tie a child's apron, her eyes softening with newfound affection as Maya handed her a bowl of fresh vegetables. The children played nearby, their joyful voices filling the space with energy and hope. Together, Evelyn and Maya moved seamlessly, the years of tension and distance replaced by a shared purpose to nurture this family. As they worked, Evelyn listened to Maya's stories about the kids' dreams and challenges, growing admiration quietly replacing old prejudices. In this simple act of care, a new bond formed, a symbol of healing and acceptance blossoming within the walls of their home. The atmosphere was peaceful, a blend of love and forgiveness weaving through every gesture, every glance. For the first time in a long while, Evelyn felt the true meaning of family, not defined by blood alone, but by connection, support, and unwavering love. In that moment, the house was no longer divided by past pain but united by hope for a shared future. Julian stepped outside onto the quiet balcony, the night air cool against his skin. Above him, the sky stretched wide, scattered with countless stars twinkling softly in the darkness. He took a deep breath, feeling the calm wash over him after days of chaos and uncertainty. For a moment, everything felt still. The world paused beneath the vast universe. His eyes traced constellations, each star a silent witness to his unspoken promises. In his heart, a quiet vow took shape, to protect this family, no matter the cost. He thought of Maya, their children, and even Evelyn, how far they had come together. The weight of responsibility settled heavily, but so did a new strength. Under the peaceful night sky, Julian felt renewed purpose, a steady flame burning within. No matter the storms ahead, he would stand firm. The stars above seemed to glow a little brighter, reflecting the hope and resolve in his eyes. In that tranquil moment, Julian found peace, ready to face whatever tomorrow might bring for the family he loved. Maya sat quietly by the bedside, her soft voice weaving a gentle lullaby. The room was bathed in a warm, tender glow from the bedside lamp, casting delicate shadows on the walls. One by one, the children's eyelids grew heavy, their breathing slowing as sleep took hold. Her song was a soothing balm, filled with promises of safety and love. Each note carried the weight of a mother's unwavering devotion. Outside, the world seemed far away. Here, only peace and comfort remained. Maya's gaze lingered on each child's peaceful face, her heart swelling with love and hope. Though their journey had been filled with hardship, moments like these made it all worthwhile. She whispered words of encouragement for their dreams and their futures, wanting to protect them even in sleep. The room was a sanctuary, a refuge from the trials they faced each day. In the quiet hum of her lullaby, there was an unspoken vow to shield her family from the darkness beyond these walls. As the children slipped deeper into rest, Maya sat beside them, the soft light reflecting the strength and tenderness that defined her. In this stillness, love was the brightest light of all. Julian and Maya sat side by side, their hands gently intertwined, eyes reflecting the weight of their shared journey. They spoke softly about the battles they had fought, the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. Each challenge had tested their resolve, yet here they were, stronger, united by love and unwavering perseverance. Maya's smile was radiant, filled with gratitude for the family they had built against all odds. Julian's gaze held a quiet pride, the hope of a future shaped by their sacrifices and dreams. Together, they recalled moments of pain, fear, and doubt, balanced by memories of joy and the small victories that kept them going. Their story was one of resilience, proof that love, when nurtured with patience and courage, could overcome even the harshest storms. In the warmth of the evening light, they made a silent promise to continue fighting for their family, their happiness, and the life they envisioned. Their eyes met, shining with renewed faith and the certainty that, no matter what lay ahead, they would face it as one. This moment was both a reflection and a new beginning, a celebration of everything they had endured and the hope they carried forward. Their hearts beat in unison, echoing a future filled with love, strength, and endless possibilities. As the warm glow of the setting sun embraced the backyard, the children laughed and played freely, their joyful voices filling the air. This simple scene of togetherness reflects the true power of love, resilience, and family, reminding us that no matter the challenges, hope can always find a way to shine through. Their story teaches us that strength comes from unity and that compassion can break down even the deepest walls of prejudice and fear. If this journey touched your heart, please take a moment to share your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Your voice matters. Let's build a community that celebrates love, courage, and change. Don't forget to like and share this video to inspire others who may need a reminder of the power of hope. Subscribe to our channel to follow the next chapters of this unforgettable story. Together, we can witness how love overcomes all and how every family deserves respect and acceptance. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Your support fuels the hope for a brighter, more compassionate tomorrow. Stay tuned for what's next, and remember, love is the strongest force of all.